What's a crack, everybody? It's Daz here from Real Sounds back again, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Amazon's new series, Alex Rider. Right, okay. Alex Rider. I have a history with this character, you know, a pretty long history. Alex Rider, for those of you who don't know, is a character who's based on a book series by Anthony Horowitz. I think, to my recollection, there's 9 or 10 books in the series. I can't remember exactly, it's a long time since I read them, but I read them. I first read Stormbreaker, the first book in the series, I think when I was about the age of the character of Alex, which was 14. So it was like having my own personal James Bond. It was amazing. You know, I preferred this book series than Harry Potter, I must be honest. So there was a movie of Stormbreaker released about 2005, 2006, which was alright. You know, I'm going to compare a few things in the series to the movie, but anyway, the series, Alex Rider, is an 8-episode long series, and it kind of mishmashes the first 2 books of the series together, that being Stormbreaker and Point Break. You don't really get the plot of Stormbreaker in this one, you get more the Point Blank plot, sorry, but you do get the origin of Alex from the Stormbreaker book with a few differences. Right, so what I liked. The acting I thought was really good. I really did enjoy the acting. The fellow that plays Alex is a very, very good actor. I do like the fact they got someone who looks the age of the character to play the character. You know, a lot of times we get characters that are supposed to be teenagers and they're played by like 28-year-olds. Like, for example, in Amazing Spider-Man 1, you know, Andrew Garfield was 28 playing a 17-year-old, you know. Whereas this guy, I don't know how old the actor is, but he looks about the age of Alex, which is meant to be 14. So I like that. I don't like some of the unnecessary changes. This is just because from reading the books. For example, the character of Jack. Jack in the books is a white woman with red hair, and this one they made her a black woman, which is fine. You know, it doesn't really change the plot at all. It's just, you're just kind of sitting there going, you didn't need to change that. But again, that's just from rereading the books. The actress was really good at playing Jack, and I really, really enjoyed her performance. Didn't like her accent. You know, I was watching the series going, is she American, or like, where is she from? And I looked it up. The actress is actually British, doing an American accent, which was a little bit annoying sometimes. Like, she was trying to do, it sounded like a typical just American accent, but it would slip quite a bit. So that kind of takes you out of it a little bit, but her performance, you know, her physical performance and her inflections in her voice and everything else pull you back in, so that was grand. Alan Blunt was a standout in this show for me. Alan Blunt in the books is written quite boring. You know, he's like M, but he just doesn't have a personality. Bill Nighy, who played him in the Stormbreaker movie in 2006, I can't remember if it was 05 or 06, but we'll say 2006 for the argument's sake. I probably got it wrong, but hey, I'm only human. Anyway, he played a kind of like a bumbling idiot. You know, you were sitting there watching Bill Nighy going, no, I don't buy you as like the head of this division of MI6. Like, I don't feel you're intimidating. Like, put it this way, the first time you meet Bill Nighy's Alan Blunt in Stormbreaker, Alex finds where the MI6 division facility is that his uncle used to work at, and Alan Blunt is just there, and he turns right around to Alex and just goes, "We want you to work for us." Alex goes, "You're not being serious?" And he's like, "Actually, it's not in my habit to make jokes." That's how he plays the whole movie, just like that. This actor who played, I think he was Stannis Baratheon in Game of Thrones, miles better, so much better. You believe this guy could fuck your life up if you crossed him the wrong way. He doesn't show it. You know, he's a very calm, collected figure, but when he wants to fuck your life up, he can. And in episode 1 there's a great scene where Alex is first recruited that you really do see how far his hand stretches into manipulating and influencing people's lives. So that was brilliant. I do have to say that the cinematography in this show is probably some of the best I've seen in a TV show in a while when they're inside. And what I mean by that is the lighting and the cinematography when they're indoors is, some of it's kind of breathtaking, to be honest, especially in the MI6 facility. I mean, it's just very dynamic and very attractive to look at, that when they go outside, everything's just very falls flat. You know, it's not very eye-catching when they're outside, particularly in broad daylight, so that kind of takes it away from me, but when they're inside, great. Mrs. Jones got a lot of characterization in this series that she didn't even get in the books, I don't think. You know, she is supposed to be more caring than Mr. Blunt, but you feel that in this series where you don't really feel it in the books as much, so I really enjoyed that. The action in the series, thank God they didn't rely on shaky cam like the likes of Arrow has done quite recently. You know, whenever action is going on, you can see. And Alex, I must say, they did really well with the character of Alex in that, yes, he's been trained by his uncle since he was young, but he's not perfect. You know, he's still a kid. He will get stuff wrong, so he's not a very seasoned fighter in any way. But he's intelligent. He knows how to use his brain and uses his intellect to get himself out of a sticky situation before having to rely on fighting. But when he fights, you know, he's an effective fighter. But he's not the finished article, so I like that. There's room for development if they go and make another season. The uncle. Now, this was a sticking point for me in the books as well. In the first book of the series of Alex Rider called Stormbreaker, we meet Alex having just woken up from bed and there's blue flashing lights outside his house, which is the police come to his apartment or his house to tell him that basically his uncle's dead. Now, in the Stormbreaker movie, you don't get hardly anything. Ewan McGregor was only in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and most of that is Alex Pettyfer playing Alex Rider, doing a voiceover, explaining his history, you know, just doing a bunch of exposition, and you see Ian Rider do a little bit of an action scene and get to know him a little bit. And then he has a phone call with Alex, and you know, you learn a little bit about him and you know why he's never there and stuff like that, and his relationship with Alex. There was more to his relationship with Alex in that one phone call in that movie than there was in a whole first episode of this show. I mean, oh my god. Alex, his motivations to join MI6 really is to avenge the death of his uncle. You know, he's really broken up about it, but you're watching it going, why should I buy this? Because Ian Rider's a dick. He just is. I mean, he has his iPad at the dinner table, which, like, it doesn't really matter, but the fact is he's just very cold and cut off, and he takes Alex's phone off of him because he tries to help one of his friends get it back. And I understand, you know, actions have consequences, and Alex shouldn't have broken back into the school to get his friend Tom's phone. Which, by the way, just on that, Tom is a new character in this series. Very welcome addition, because he's not in the books, and it's nice to have see Alex have a best friend, someone he can bounce off of and relate to, you know, someone who's his age. But anyway, back to Ian. Ian's just very cold. I mean, there's probably... spies are probably just like that, you know. They're probably just very cold, collected people whose mind is always on the job. But the guy just... The series doesn't give you any reason to care. So you're like, why should I care about the fact that Alex cares about you so much when I don't like you? You know, it kind of just doesn't... It doesn't fall really well. You know, it doesn't land. So that kind of takes a few points away from me, and you know, it affects the story a little bit, because you're like, I still don't buy Alex's motivations here. I mean, you could buy the fact that he doesn't want Jack to get deported by MI6 for not doing what they have basically instructed him to do. You know, you buy that more because their relationship is fleshed out, but you don't buy the fact that he's broken up about his uncle's death, because you just don't feel anything in that. But anyway, that said, series I enjoyed. I really did. I want to see more. I want to see where they go. Now, the problem they're going to encounter is that Alex in the books is only meant to age between the ages of 14 and 15. So if they're going to make more of this show, obviously with the pandemic and stuff going on, they can't do any filming dates, but they're going to have a plan as to how much of the series they're going to adapt and how they're going to do it and where they're going to end it, because they can't have this thing go on forever, because that's not the way the books is, unless they just scrap the books, you know, the age thing, unless they just scrap that completely. But Alex Rider is supposed to be the teenager's James Bond. He is supposed to be the reluctant spy. So if they do age him up and follow him as he gets into, say, his 20s or whatever, it's kind of not going to be the same character again. They're going to evolve the character in a way that he's not meant to be evolved, at least in literary terms. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. But all in all, if I was to rate the series, because I've read the books and seen the old movie and now watched the series, and I have a deep appreciation for the character of Alex Rider, I'm going to give the series a solid 7 out of 10. There's some stuff in it that didn't make sense, some stuff didn't need to be in it, but overall the positives again outweigh the negatives. So solid 7 out of 10 for me. Guys, thank you very much for watching another video here, and stay tuned to this channel, Real Sounds, for more videos coming your way soon. Thank you.